Your Excellency, Prime Minister, Ministers, Military Chiefs, Commissioner of Police, distinguished guests, members of the National Executive, Life members and delegates, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, Prime Minister, thank you very much. A very interesting perception of the future. We look forward to hearing more about some of those things from your ministers in due course. Winston Churchill, who was a badge and gold member and life member of the RSA, is reputed to have said that there are only two things more difficult than making a speech. One of them is climbing a wall that's leaning towards you, and the other one is kissing a girl who's leaning away from you. At my age, I guess neither of those things is within my capability anyway. So it's with some trepidation that I must turn my attention towards my inaugural presidential address. On the 15th of July 1915, Captain Donald Simpson disembarked, wounded, from the SS Wallachia, the first troop ship to bring the wounded home from Gallipoli. He saw the urgent need to provide welfare services for returned soldiers and for the families of the fallen, to advocate on their behalf with government, to commemorate their sacrifices, and to establish local RSAs where these veterans, many of them deeply physically and mentally bruised and broken, could meet and socialise. On the 28th of April 1916, the New Zealand Returned Soldiers Association was established. This year is the 95th anniversary of the foundation of the RSA. There's probably much about today's RSA that Donald Simpson would recognise, but much has happened in those 95 years. Today, the Royal New Zealand Return and Services Association is one of the largest voluntary welfare organisations in New Zealand, and it's one of the longest established ex-service organisations in the world. We have an impressive record of service to our nation, of which we can be justifiably proud. But today's RSA has to foot it in our modern society, where preschoolers have become comfortable with instant imagery on television, the computer, iPads and iPods, a society where you can travel at near the speed of sound, and many Kiwis do, where communication systems barely allow the gentle luxury of ordinary post or snail mail, as some people call it. It's an egalitarian society in which different generations seek their relaxation in different ways. For the RSA, we have to realise that to stand still against such dynamic change is in fact to move backwards. My predecessors have already done a great deal towards moving the RSA forward. The 10-point Veterans Welfare Manifesto, the Year of the Veteran, the Memorandum of Understanding between Government, the RSA and Vietnam veterans, and the Law Commission report on war pensions are just some examples. The significant new initiatives, of course, are the Anzac of the Year and the National Bank RSA Cyril Bassett VC speech competition, and they've helped to grow public awareness of the RSA. Last year, Nielsen conducted market research into public perceptions of the RSA. It helped identify areas where we're not keeping pace with society's expectations. It showed that our brand equity has faded in some areas. It has given us a chance to see ourselves as we're seen by others. And believe me, it's not always a flattering view. It has provided the fulcrum around which we have developed the range of strategies to address the future of the RSA, which you'll see at this council. First of all, modern governance, management and administration are keystones to our future. A coherent management system at national level has now been launched. There is a strategic plan, an annual business plan, annual budgets, and there are basic planning tools and governance and management procedures and guidelines for them at every level from national office to the local RSAs are being developed. You'll hear more about them over the next few days, and you need to look seriously at how you implement them. In my visits to RSAs, I've seen recognition of the brand fade, which Nielsen spoke of, and a growing willingness to do something about it. Our new strategy, Living the Anzac Spirit Today, is well constructed and it's dynamic. It challenges us to transform perceptions of the RSA from a place which old blokes disappear into to an organisation that is known to stand for something and is seen to play a valuable role in society. And how can we not connect with its higher purpose to champion the Anzac spirit across all generations by embracing the values of compassion, camaraderie, courage and commitment? Tomorrow we start to roll out that strategy for you. Exciting times indeed. And as we face the future where the number of veterans and service members decline, we need too to focus on membership. In the last year, we recruited 5,000 new members. Our total membership has increased this year to 117,000, but active membership is a problem. People join and stay with the RSA out of a sense of loyalty, but in fact, they don't take advantage of the use of their local RSA clubs. Our new strategy, of course, is central to trying to remedy that situation. Attracting new membership from serving personnel and the more recently retired will be a priority over the next year. We're proud of them. We respect their service. We admire their commitment and their professionalism. John Boswell told us more about their service today. We owe them the same level of support and advocacy that we have provided earlier veterans and past members of our armed forces. Conversely, the RSA requires the skills and leadership qualities of these outstanding New Zealanders who have served our nation. At this council meeting, we'll look at measures to provide special membership privileges for these young veterans and those NZDF personnel currently serving. We see them playing a very important role in our future. We're now preparing to commemorate the centenaries of the world-changing events of the First World War and the 70th to 75th anniversaries of World War II. We in the RSA have much to do and we're taking action to manage that process. Minister Finlayson has set in place a comprehensive, across-government planning structure in anticipation of these events, in which the RSA has an important part to play in our communities. This will lead, I hope, to appropriate, respectful and well-constructed commemoration of the sacrifice of our fellow countrymen in these terrible conflicts. And we're preparing ourselves, of course, for our own centenary in 2016, when we will commemorate and celebrate what we've achieved over 100 years, and at the same time take stock of how far we have come in terms of our transformation for our second century. We recognise that the best way to honour our original Anzac founders is to ensure that their spirit continues to inspire us all today. At last, this year, something has been done about that terrible eyesore which faced us at the National War Memorial when we looked across Buckle Street to the Memorial Precinct. And I know the Minister has more plans to follow. The RSA watches with a great deal of interest, but alongside many others, we continue to be concerned that immediate plans do not allow for the trenching of the road so that the precinct is not a complete, uninterrupted space in total harmony with its memorial purpose. For 95 years, a key role of the RSA has been the care, concern and advocacy for all veterans, service and ex-service personnel, and for our associate members and their families. Of course, Commissioner, I include our fully integrated police members in all of my comments here. This year, much has been achieved and more is in progress. Our pension and welfare officers have made 11,000 calls to provide advice and assistance to veterans using the grant provided for this purpose by government. Our Poppy Day collection was $1.7 million for the support of veterans and their families in need. And the RSA movement also donated over $130,000 to Christchurch in the aftermath of the quakes, as well as tens of thousands of dollars to the Pike River and Queensland flood appeals which we held within our clubs. Our dedicated, mostly volunteer officers provide an outstanding service which I wish to acknowledge publicly tonight. We are working to enhance their training and working conditions, but thank you very much for the work you do. We have a strong interest and concern too about the rewrite of the War Pensions Act following the report of the Law Commission. The RSA believes that new legislation is sorely needed. As members have seen, Minister Collins has informed me of the complex nature of the process and has also informed me that subject to Cabinet approval, a new Act should be introduced into the House next year. As Sir Geoffrey Palmer stated in his report, the present Act is outdated and unwieldy and no longer fits the needs of the veterans it's intended to serve. Our special concern is our oldest and most vulnerable World War II veterans. Their numbers are reducing and they deserve a share in the benefits of a new Act, so the sooner the better. Overall, it's been a year of positive progress and development. The National Executive Committee and its subcommittees and the Chief Executive and the National Office have worked hard and with positive intent to get us to where we are now. I congratulate them on their efforts. It's been a great year of hard work. Next year will be just as demanding as we seek to make capital from these exciting initiatives. The challenge is there to be accepted by you all. To paraphrase Graham Henry's injunction to the All Blacks, pick the bloody thing up and run with it. Okay. Before I finish, I want to acknowledge the presence here today of the Anzac of the Year, Brigadier Brian McMahon. Brian has been accurately described as the quintessential New Zealand citizen soldier. He's been widely known and admired for his dedicated and compassionate commitment to his fellow servicemen to fellow servicemen and women and their dependents, his patients and medical students, and to those who have throughout his 60 years service been helped in his aid activities in Vietnam and the Pacific Islands. Brian is a true Anzac, and we're grateful that you were able to join us, Brian. Maybe we should. Sitting to my immediate front here are our Badge and Gold and Life members. They've received the RSA's highest award for their signal service to the RSA, or to New Zealand, or to the Commonwealth. For each of them, their record of service has been exemplary, and we welcome the opportunity to acknowledge it again tonight. It's great to have you all here. Sadly, this year, we lost one of our most iconic Badge and Gold holders, a heroine whose service in the resistance movement in France during World War II made her an inspiration to all New Zealanders, and particularly to women both here and around the world. Wellington-born Nancy Wake, known as the White Mouse, was richly deserving of our highest award, and as John Campbell will attest, felt a special attachment to it, because for her, it represented an acknowledgement from her fellow veterans. Nancy should not be forgotten, and the RSA will look to establish an appropriate living memorial to her, one specially designed to inspire our young people. And we're honoured to have with us our first post-World War II and only living New Zealand recipient of the Victoria Cross, Corporal Willie Apiata, another of our eminent Badge and Gold and Life members. His acts of remarkable courage and compassion for his severely wounded mate under heavy fire in Afghanistan have inspired all New Zealanders. His commitment to getting back to and on with his job, serving our nation with the Army, has also earned our deepest respect. Not surprisingly, he is one of our most admired Kiwis. We're grateful to the Army and to his unit for allowing Willie to travel here to join us, but especially grateful to Willie himself for agreeing to attend our 95th Council. Thank you very much, Willie. And finally, I want to publicly recognise our most recent Badge and Gold and Life member, past President John Campbell. The National Executive Committee made this award at its meeting in June. John has been a member of the RSA for 31 years. He became Vice President of the Dunedin RSA in 1999 and President in 2001. In 2003, he became District President and member of the NEC, and in 2004, he became National President. He served until 2007, when he retired for health reasons. John's name was central to many important initiatives, including the M&M report, for those who remember it, Return of the Unknown Warrior, the Memorandum of Understanding between Government, RSA and the veterans, Vietnam veterans, and the many outcomes arising from that Memorandum of Understanding, and for the commencement of the process of the review of war pensions. The Year of the Veteran was John's initiative too. In fact, almost all of the initiatives which I've spoken about in my speech were initiatives which John could lay claim to have initiated. John served the RSA and all veterans with great strength and innovation and is fully deserving of our highest award. John, we're very pleased you're able to join us and provide us this opportunity to acknowledge your service publicly. Now I can relax, it's done. So thank you very much. Tihei Moriora.